Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Thtman.x, and as you see, I'm back with another reaction video. Today we reacted to what the NFL was like 10 years ago. I know what my NFL team was like damn near 10 years ago. Pittsburgh Steelers. 10 years ago, 2015. We were solid. No, we were mid. Nah, I'm thinking about 2017, 18, that year. Killer B era. Or Juju Smith rookie year, that year. Yeah, we was like that. 10 years ago, though, it was a good year. 10 years ago, it was a good year. I think that's the Odell year. Damn, Odell retired already? Or not? Damn, Odell. Damn. Solid. But, oh, yeah, before we get into the video, though, make sure y'all talk to God today. Very good day to talk to God. Every day is. But, Jesus loves us all. And let's get into the video.
Welcome to the NFL 10 years ago. This was a time when you saw dance moves like the dab and the whip. OBJ's popularity.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, Odell was, my bad for pausing already. Odell was so popular, bro. When we used to play throwback, y'all don't even know about throwback, but throwback, every time I used to play throwback, every touchdown I hit, I'm hitting the, oh, bro, I'm whipping every time, bro. I'm spamming that emote.
He had shot through the stratosphere, and that fight with Josh Norman was crazy. Oh, and of course, you can't forget about this.
What the? Look at the cowboy boots. Crazy.
This was the NFL in 2015.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? This is the 9th edition of this video that I've made.
Okay.
Next year, it'll be 10 years of 10 years ago videos. That's just crazy. It feels like just yesterday I was walking around Sac State's campus and seeing guys with haircuts like this. Here were some things that made the NFL in 2015 stand out. First, the uniforms. We still were seeing the Bumblebee uniforms from the Steelers, which they would stop wearing in 2016.
I think.
Either you loved these or hated these. To me, they're sort of an ugly cool. These, on the other hand,
those are horrible.
Disgusting.
Those
the only thing
trash.
that can make these worse is if someone wore full mustard uniforms. Oh wait, that happened.
I ain't gonna lie, those not that bad though.
2015 saw the roots of the color rush era, with 8 teams rocking these colorful uniforms on Thursday Night Football. One of these games ended up being a disaster for people who were colorblind because it ended up looking like this. The Browns unveiled these uniforms in 2015,
those not that bad.
To be honest, they suck. Compared to their previous uniforms, they're just so much worse. I remember getting this jersey for Christmas that year and thinking, hey, this is the perfect player to get because he's going to be around for a few more years.
Right.
He wasn't. Anyways, some other things that made 2015 unique was its dances. I already talked about these two, but you also had the Hit Them Folks and this one.
Hit Them Folks? Why you say it like that, gang? It's called Hit the Folks. That's definitely the #1 emote in my little wheel. I definitely spam to Hit the Folks every day. I hit the folks damn near like at least 20 times a week.
Pretty much anything Odell Beckham Jr. decided to do.
Fact.
Like I said in the beginning of this video, OBJ's popularity by this point had exploded. Ever since he made that catch back in 2014, he had become the most popular non-quarterback in the NFL.
100%.
And let me show you some Instagram numbers from back then to explain. The 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and most popular defensive player in the NFL, J.J. Watt, had 1.1 million followers on Instagram at the beginning of the 2015 season. Russell Wilson, the most famous young quarterback in the NFL, having played in 2 Super Bowls to that point,
sold my season.
Had 1.6 million followers. OBJ, after his rookie season,
like
2 million.
2?
Whether or not you care about followers, this at least goes to show just how crazy the OBJ phenomenon was. I mean, this dude was a rookie in 2014. He made 1 crazy catch and had an amazing year, and he blew up in popularity. He was on the cover of Madden that year, and it was just crazy. And because of that catch, they implemented it in Madden that year, and the deep ball was absolutely broken. Whenever Madden releases, it means one good thing. Not that the game's good, no, it's not. What it means is that the actual football season is right around the corner. We are so close to opening day that we can almost taste it. And you already know I'm getting myself out to a few games this year. Probably a Falcons game, maybe a Tampa Bay Bucks game, hell, maybe even the Iron Bowl. Now is a great time to plan ahead and get your tickets early through today's video sponsor, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than Okay, like we've done the draft. The
No way I was
we're going to look at the
that zone
totality
down.
of the 2015 season, starting with the NFL draft.
Who
The
got drafted
2015
then?
NFL draft was hosted in Chicago, which made it the first draft since 1964 that took place outside of New York
Ain't 2015 the year when they had the gold? It was the 50 year of the NFL, right? The gold 50-yard line.
City. As with any draft, there were a handful of exciting prospects
that
near
year,
the
okay.
top, but the main headliners were the top two quarterbacks, Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, who went 1 and 2,
Winston
both
looked
of
so
which had
young.
won a Heisman Trophy in their college careers and looked forward to help rebuild the franchises that had selected them. Other notable picks included Amari Cooper, Leonard Williams, Kevin White, and Todd Gurley. The one big controversy surrounding this draft was
bright,
the
my
news
bad.
surrounding offensive tackle prospect La'el Collins. Originally seen as one of the top overall prospects, things suddenly turned for the worst when a pregnant
Collins.
woman that he had dated was killed a week before the draft. Although Collins wasn't a suspect,
thinking about an
this was
essay.
the worst possible timing for him because it scared away NFL teams from selecting him.
Dang.
After his agent threatened that Collins would sit out for that season if any team took him after the third round, he went from a potential top 10 prospect to undrafted altogether, later to be picked
man.
up by the Dallas Cowboys.
That's sad,
This whole ordeal cost him at least $10 million. Now,
Dang.
other than that draft controversy, let's go ahead and summarize the other controversial offseason moments. Deflategate was constantly going on throughout the offseason. You had Tom Brady destroying his cell phone, the
I remember
Patriots
that.
ended up getting fined, and they ended up losing draft picks over
Remember
it,
the flat ball
and Brady
here.
was
That's
suspended for
hilarious.
4 games. Although, before the season, that was dropped. There were
Right.
2 NFL position coaches that
I don't
had
even know what that
domestic
is.
issues that
Hold up, is that bro? Is that hold up? Is that bro that won the Super Bowl for the Eagles? He look like him, like a studious version. Look like a little. I see Ed, not Ed Reed. What's the Chiefs coach? I forgot his name. Look like Ben Roethlisberger a little bit too. Look like a little bit everybody. Got a little bit everybody in him.
firings.
Oh damn! I didn't even see the charges. Hold up. Oh man. Aaron Como arrested for assault and battery. He hit it. Okay. Andy Moeller. Moeller alleged domestic and they need. Oh, he hit his wife. Damn, that's tough.
The Browns general manager Ray Farmer was suspended for 4 games in 2015 due to texting Browns personnel on the sidelines in 2014. Man, the Browns, they kill me. Listen to this next story. After Kyle Shanahan served as the team's
Kyle
offensive
Shanahan,
coordinator
Kyle
in
Shanahan.
2014,
Who he coached
he
now?
made
Who
a
Kyle-
32-page PowerPoint
coached?
presentation on why he wanted to leave the
He
team.
on the
So
not the
they let
Chargers,
him
the
go.
Cardinals,
I think
right?
things have only gotten worse when it comes to their management. Moving on,
Bro, stop
for free
disrespecting Deshaun
agency and
Watson. He was like
trades,
that.
here are the most notable. Starting with free agency. The offensive side of the ball was highlighted by DeMarco Murray surprisingly leaving Dallas for Philadelphia after leading the league in rushing. Longtime Texan Andre Johnson
Andre
signing with the
Johnson?
Colts. Jeremy
know he's not
Maclin
with
going to Kansas City after
don't
his
know what
best
that is.
season in Philadelphia. And breakout star tight end Julius Thomas signed a
Thomas,
big
I think I
contract with
remember
the
him.
Jaguars. On the defensive side, Ndamukong Suh signed a massive deal with the Dolphins. The Cowboys were criticized for signing the controversial Greg Hardy. And
Hardy, I
Darrell
don't
Revis
know.
returned to the
Darrell
Jets after
Revis.
spending 2 seasons away from the team. For the notable
Carolina
trades,
looking like
the
mine a
Eagles were
little
making
bit.
big moves in the
Chip
offseason.
Kelly, I heard about
Chip Kelly
Brody.
had gained GM powers in 2015, and he used that power for blockbuster
Eagles.
trades.
Oh.
He traded away star running back LaShawn McCoy to the
Tweaking.
Bills for Kiko Alonso, which is
Tweaking.
why they went
Horrible
and signed
trade.
DeMarco Murray. Kelly also traded away Nick Foles for Sam Bradford. The Saints pulled off a
bad.
pair of moves. First, trading Jimmy
So, I mean,
Graham
Nick
and a
Foles came
fourth-round
back.
pick to the Seahawks for All-Pro Max Unger and a first-round pick. And second,
Graham.
the Saints traded Pro Bowl guard Ben Grubbs and wide receiver Kenny
Stills.
Stills
I remember Kenny
for
Stills.
linebacker
Kenny Stills
Daniel
like that.
Ellerbe and a third-round pick in 2015. Lastly, the Lions traded for Haloti Ngata from the Ravens with draft picks to make up for losing Ndamukong Suh. Moving on to rule changes. After the
Yes,
Dez
I
Bryant
remember
moment
that.
in the NFC divisional round where
30
he caught
Sam.
the ball, but then they said he
number.
didn't. Ultimately, this changed the rule on the process when catching the ball and going to the ground. A receiver would
I
now
remember
be
that game,
considered
too.
to have made
I
a
was
catch
watching that
if
game.
they clearly established themselves as a runner before going to the ground. Sadly, this only made things more confusing. And for a few more years, we didn't know what a catch was. And
Right.
the most noticeable rule change was that they moved extra points from the 2 to to the 15-yard line, which ended up reducing the percentage of makes in 2015 from 99%
Why
to
they back it up?
94%. As we move closer to the beginning
on
of
a
the
20
regular
now?
season, here were some stories that dominated the headlines. At age 39, how much did Peyton Manning have left in the tank?
remember
They had
that.
gotten so close in 2013, but they were shocked by the Colts in the 2014 divisional round. Speaking of the Colts, was
Broncos
this the
kinda-
year that
nah,
Andrew
Broncos not
Luck led
irrelevant
them
no
to the
more. They
Super
went to the
Bowl?
playoffs.
They were tied for the third
What's a
best
really
odds to win it
irrelevant
all.
team?
Another team with good odds was the Cowboys. They were coming off a 12-4 season and a devastating playoff loss. Romo had been the runner-up for MVP and was hoping to build upon that success. After signing Sue to that mega deal, was Miami finally going to get back to the playoffs after a 6-year drought? There had been a bit of drama in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers had criticized coaches for play
My
calling
quarterback.
late in the NFC Championship, which led to Mike McCarthy giving up control of play calling.
McCarthy. Ain't he on the
Also,
Cowboys now?
heartbreaking injury news hit this team when star receiver Jordy Nelson
Oh, nah, that's
tore
not yes.
his
I meant
ACL
yes,
in
he
the
ain't scoring us.
preseason.
I'm
So
tweaking, my bad.
how would the Packers perform considering these changes? Over in Philadelphia, was Chip Kelly a genius or had he gone mad? They had produced back-to-back 10-win
Very slow.
seasons, but then basically did an insane roster
terrorist.
overhaul that was
That's what he
seen as
was.
controversial. Kelly also signed Tim Tebow during the preseason,
remember
but
that.
he released him during final cuts.
That's tough.
After the most gut-wrenching Super Bowl loss in recent history, there was the Russell Wilson contract talks. Ultimately, he signed a contract that made him the second highest-paid player in the NFL. So
Better.
how is
He
this
was going
going to
crazy
affect
around that
this
time.
great
Only if he could
roster?
play like that
And
when he
lastly,
was
in what
with
was
us.
expected to be a rough year in San Francisco, Australian rugby player Jared Hayne took the spotlight in the preseason as a return man. This was a feel-good story people wanted to follow along with, at least early on. That would change. Now with that said, let's move into projected team records. Starting with the NFC. On screen, as we did last year, we have each team's 2014 record, their projected win total in 2015, and the team's expected quarterback. Out west, the Seahawks were the projected team to reach the Super Bowl from the conference.
Nah, they
the
definitely
49ers
they
were
got
expected
first
to
round.
fade to
They
the
haven't
bottom
been
after the
that
departure
good
of Jim
since.
Harbaugh. Up north, the Packers still reigned supreme with Aaron Rodgers in his prime. They were one of the favorites out of the NFC. Over in the
Charlie
East,
Rock.
Philadelphia was expected to take the division, although there were major question marks surrounding this roster after all the moves they made. They were definitely a polarizing team and seen as a boom or bust. Meanwhile, the RG3 drama led to the Redskins falling out of the competition. And down south, this was the most uncertain division in the NFL. The top three
they
teams
still
all projected to
trash.
finish around the same record.
To this day,
Despite
they
some
still
solid
trash.
quarterbacks, this was a division that didn't have a single winning record the previous year. Now headed to the AFC side of things, over in the West, the Broncos were the clear favorites once again,
They won the
although
Super Bowl
they
that
weren't
year.
seen to be as strong as they had been in the previous season. Up north, this division was absolutely
Look at
stacked
us.
the previous season, with the Steelers, Ravens, and Bengals all winning 10 or more games. Per usual, 2015 was going to be a toss-up for the division crown, and for Cleveland, they were about to find out if Johnny Manziel could get his crap together. Over in the East, surprise,
no game on this
surprise,
thing. I don't
the
think they won
reigning
a game
Super
that
Bowl
year
champs
on
were
my tweet.
projected to take the division again, although the Dolphins with signing Sue were expected to have a shot. And finally, down south, this was a pretty top-heavy division with the Colts projected to be one of the top teams in the NFL.
How is it?
Andrew
How
Luck
they
was
top?
expected to lead this
Look at
team
this.
deep
Trash.
into the playoffs again. Entering the
AFC
regular
North best
season,
division
here
in
were
the
the
league,
top 10
100%.
players according to other players, as well as the average top 10 picks. to
Le'Veon.
finish the playoffs.
You see him? Damn, I miss my whole team.
What's up, man?
I'm about to cry a little bit.
How you doing? You alright? You ready for the game?
Mariota to the air, touchdown,
This season is
Tennessee,
like
Delaney Walker.
We lost on our second week.
Ball was out, and he's hit the end zone.
And Romo is down.
Dalton throws,
2-1, all right, bet.
green.
This, oh my goodness. I remember this year. This the year, bro. The Bengals are trash. The Bengals are trash. They went 8-0 and then lost to the Texans and they went down the hitter. They went down the hitter. They pooped the bed. You know I'm trying not to cuss. They pooped the bed. They suck. I remember that year. They went 8-0 and they lost to the Texans. I remember that. Look, watch. I'm gonna keep this thing right here. They went 8-0. 4-0. I remember this. And then they lost to these. Don't worry, look, I remember this year, bro. I remember I was a kid, bro. 5-0. See, you think I'm lying? I'm not bluffing. What's this? What's this? You go back. I'm not I'm watching them. 6-0. I'm telling you. Oh, they was 6-0 too. Whoa. Oh my goodness. This league was like that. This don't even. I wish I could have seats like this in Madden. Shit. All right, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. 5 undefeated teams. That's crazy. 5-2. We're 4-3. Solid. Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. 7-0. I'm telling you, guys. Remember this one. Rob. 8-0. Oh yeah. Yes.
Andrew Luck will be out for at least a month with a lacerated kidney and an abdominal muscle injury.
8-0.
Both suffered on a fourth-quarter scramble against the Broncos.
Peyton came out of the game. Was he benched for an ineffectiveness injury? What was the behind?
No, I was, to be honest with you, I was
Hey,
protecting
Steelers about to go
him
to the
because
Super Bowl
worried
this year.
about
I'm telling
him.
y'all, bro.
Manning finished the game with
Watch us go stupid.
25 passing.
Hey, we might have the start that we had in 2020. I don't even remember that when we went 11-0. We pooped the bed after that, but that ain't happening this year. I don't think so. Brought back bad memories. I cried. And I got teased.
Yards, I believe. And of course, he was benched after throwing 4 interceptions for Brock Osweiler. And I don't know, but I felt like throwing up.
Gonna be 7-2. Here's Brady.
8-1. Look now. Now look. Aha. Now look. Watch how they all go downhill. Watch how those people go downhill. I don't even think they made the playoffs. 8-2. I don't even think they made the playoffs this year. They're trash.
Cam Newton has thrown 5.
Cam Newton's going crazy. And I remember they lost the very last. No, they lost the second to last game to the Falcons. I remember all this stuff. I got great memory.
Pass across the middle. It is caught.
9-2. They won again? I didn't even know they won again.
For the touchdown. It's third.
They ain't having the my team. Let me see.
For the first. It's Baldwin. For the touchdown. It's third of the day.
I would have cried if I watched that game. 10-2. Hold up, they're actually winning. Hold up, I thought they put the bed after this. I didn't think that. I didn't even know they started winning again. I thought they were like 8-8. Oh man, my memory is horrible. Oh.
In the end zone. It is caught.
Man,
For the win.
A lot of time.
10-3.
Out looking for.
Yeah, he's got it. Touchdown. And let's wait on the penalty. Here's what was going on.
11-3, bro. They were actually winning. Am I tweaking? I remember this game too. They only won by a field goal. Yeah, this was a great game. So Odell almost came back on them. They was winning though. Am my memory that bad? Look at us though. We doing great. Oh my goodness. I didn't know they was that bad. Damn.
Run. And they go head to head. Then Norman gets in with a knee. Manning. End zone. Touchdown Beckham. Newton in trouble. It's Atlanta. Game over.
Yeah, 1-1.
Rodgers sacked again. Ball out. Live play. Touchdown.
So they actually, why I thought they went 8-8? Why is my memory this bad? Oh man, I got bad memory. I didn't know they went that good. They must have got first round.
Throws a wobbler. Manny Lawson gets
I thought they went 8-8, bro.
for the interception.
In wrapping up the 2015
Damn.
season, let's look at how every team finished compared to their projections. Starting with the NFC. Out west, the Cardinals were a big surprise behind Carson Palmer's incredible season. He led the league in multiple passing categories and was the runner-up for MVP. The Seahawks were sort of underwhelming, just not as dominant as they had been the previous years. Up north, the Vikings surprised everybody behind Adrian Peterson leading the league in rushing yards and touchdowns. They had grinded out tough wins with their top 5 defense, and they stunned Green Bay in the season finale to take the division.
Like that.
Out east, this division was flipped upside down. The Eagles flopped and Chip Kelly was fired. Tony Romo got injured early and the Cowboys couldn't effectively replace him. The Giants took a step back. And then the team no one expected to be good, the Washington Redskins, finished the season with a 4-game win streak to take the division crown. Kirk Cousins had been one of the surprise stories that year. After filling in for an injured RG3, the team never looked back. It was an awesome underdog story for Cousins, and a mysterious, unsettling one for RG3. RG3 had gone from Rookie of the Year in 2012 to taking reps on the scout team defense in 2015. Anyways, for the final division in the NFC, down south, this was the real stunner. The Panthers, who at one point looked like they were going to go undefeated, were the best team in the NFL behind a legendary MVP season by Cam Newton. What made this even more incredible was the team lost #1 wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin before the season even began. Yet, they produced one of the most prolific offenses we've seen. Also, their defense was one of the best in the NFL, and many expected this team to win the Super Bowl. Moving over to the AFC, out west, we saw some interesting dynamics. The Chargers had been a huge disappointment, and the Chiefs had been surprisingly awesome. However, Denver had been the real story here, and not for the reasons people expected. Manning had been terrible. So much so that at one point he was benched for Brock Osweiler, and also Manning dealt with nagging injuries. Osweiler started for 7 games, and overall, with whoever was at quarterback, the offense had been pretty much mediocre, outside of one crazy game against the Patriots. But despite this, their defense was one for the ages. With 6 Pro Bowlers on that side of the ball, led by Von Miller, this defense suffocated teams all year, giving up the least amount of yards in the NFL.
Sounds like my Madden teams, gang. Why is tell me why, bro. Do we had a speed flex on back in the day? Damn, he was advanced. He was before his time. The face mask, he was definitely before his time. So Von Miller. No, it sounds like my Madden team. Hey, Madden, fix that, bro. Madden's for Madden 26. Why every time I play defense, I got the worst offense of all time, but my defense always #1? You gotta fix that. No way.
Ravens completely fell apart with a staggering amount of injuries that derailed their season. Meanwhile, the Bengals had been awesome. They won their first 8 games behind an efficient offense and a stellar top 5 defense. This was the best version of that era's Bengals. Out east, the Patriots took the cake as expected, but the competition for second place
it's like it was no beating them back in the day.
The Jets surprised everybody behind Ryan Fitzpatrick's best season of his career. Brandon Marshall led the league in touchdown receptions, and this defense was much improved with the return of Darrelle Revis. It's just too bad that they blew their playoff hopes in the end with a loss to Buffalo. And lastly,
they won 10 games.
The Colts had been underwhelming due to Andrew Luck's injuries that kept him out half the season. This allowed for the Texans, who started 4 different quarterbacks, to sneak in and win the division on the back of another dominant J.J. Watt season. Next, here are the top 10 passers, rushers, and receivers.
I'm about to say, no, you know what I realized, bro? When I look back, Cam, I thought Cam had like a super crazy season. His team was just like, I guess because the people he had around him wasn't really like that. You right. But no, I remember I looked at the stats. I'm thinking that, bro, I thought he had like these type numbers. The way he was playing, it looked like he was taking over. And Cam ain't in this. Cam. No, he ain't. I forgot. But yeah, D'Angelo Williams, my guy. What y'all know about D'Angelo Williams, bro? Damn, bro. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Bruh, when I was playing Madden back in the day on my P3, bruh, I used to go on teams. What number was he? 32? Bruh, I used to copy his whole swag. I had the dreads, number 32, same helmet, same everything. I wanted to be D'Angelo Williams. And his dreads was hard. Shout out D'Angelo Williams. Cam, he was top 5, but I thought he led in passing. He was up there, but he ain't leading the damn thing. He wasn't even leading, but his team was like that. And he was the reason why his team was like that. So that's why he's the most valuable player. Shout out to Cam.
Amazing about Cam Newton's season was not only did he throw 35 touchdowns, but he also rushed for 636 yards and 10 touchdowns.
That's
Adrian Peterson bounced back after missing most of the 2014 season due to suspension, and Todd Gurley won Offensive Rookie of the Year, finishing 3rd in rushing yards. Surprisingly, only 7 guys ran for over 1,000 yards, about half as much as the previous year. For receivers, Julio Jones and Antonio Brown continue to show why they were the best in the game.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about we almost had 2,000
To kick off the
yards.
postseason, the Chiefs absolutely crushed the Texans 30-0.
Belts.
Brian Hoyer threw 4 interceptions that
Ah,
day.
yeah.
Following that game, the Steelers looked like they were going to cruise to an easy victory over the Bengals after going up 15-0 through 3 quarters. Unfortunately for the Bengals, Andy Dalton missed the last 3
that's
games
that
of the
year.
season with injury.
I didn't even know we beat him that year. If I would have knew that, I would have been talking shit. I would have been talking shit. I didn't know that was the year. I forgot that was the year when they did that. When they tried to do that thing to us. I forgot.
But they did manage to claw their way back into this game and take a 16-15 lead.
forgot, yes.
But then the infamous Vontez Burfict hit happened. This set up
didn't know.
an easy field goal for the Steelers.
I didn't know.
And that was all she wrote for Cincinnati. The following day, the Seahawks
Oh,
and
we must have
Vikings
lost
played
again.
in the 3rd coldest game in NFL history.
think that was the
It had
last
a
one we
wind
won.
chill of
Playoff.
negative 25 degrees, and both teams struggled to do much of anything. Things finally got going for the Seahawks after a crazy play by Russell Wilson. Ultimately, the Vikings down 1 had an easy chip shot field goal to win the game. But this happened.
Kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me?
And for the final wildcard game, the Redskins' impressive run came to a crashing halt.
Bell,
Despite
bell,
holding a
bell,
1-point
bell.
lead in the 3rd quarter, Packers took control and ran away with it late. In the divisional round, the Chiefs were no match for the mighty Patriots, as New England controlled this one. The following game was a wild one. The Packers and Cardinals went back and forth all game long. It looked as if the Cardinals had the game in the
think I remember
bag
this
as the Packers trailed by a touchdown with 55
not the Hail
seconds,
Mary on my
no
tweet.
timeouts, and it was 4th and 20 inside their own 5-yard line. But then,
She
it
is
was
the Hail
Rodgers'
Mary, huh?
magic. He hit an insane pass downfield. They almost blew the game with terrible clock management. And then on one last gasp Hail Mary, Rodgers hit one of the
they
greatest
still
throws
lost,
we've
though.
ever seen. But then Carson Palmer delivered on his own insanity,
Larry,
making a
come on,
crazy
Larry.
spin move in overtime and throwing across the field to Larry Fitzgerald, which set up the game-winning touchdown. The following day,
Shout out
it
Larry.
looked like the Panthers were going to steamroll the Seahawks as they pounced out to a 31-0 lead at halftime. But then the Seahawks came flying back into the game with 3 touchdowns and
Tyler?
a field goal to bring it within 7. But the Panthers secured the onside kick
Ooh.
and came away victorious. And for the final divisional matchup, the Broncos grinded it out in the second half to secure the victory over the Steelers. This game was ugly and saw a whopping 8 field goals made.
Pissed me off.
Moving on to championship weekend, the Patriots and Broncos played in a defensive battle for the ages. Both teams struggled to move the ball, and Brady got smacked around all game long. He seemingly was getting sacked or thrown down on every play. In the waning moments, the Patriots trailed by 8. This was significant because this would have been 7 if it weren't for a missed PAT, which probably wouldn't have missed the previous year. But because of the rule change, well, there you go. Anyways, Patriots faced a 4th down with the game on the line. Then Brady hit Gronk on a prayer.
Oh my!
Another
I forgot
4th
how
down,
good Gronk
and
was.
another Gronk prayer. Now it came down to this: a 2-point conversion, and Denver's defense held firm. Ball game. Over in the NFC, this game was not close. The Panthers controlled this thing from the very beginning and never looked back. Cam
they had
Newton
so much
dominated
swag back in the
with
day,
this
bro.
thing
Oh my
from the
goodness,
very
bro.
beginning
Like
and
this-
never looked back.
Like, bro, they had so much swag back in the day, bro. All they doing is pointing up, but bro, it was just so much swag, bro. This team was just swagged out, bro. They just had so much swag. I'm in love with the team. I really wish they won the Super Bowl game. They deserve a Super Bowl, bro. Damn, I feel bad for Cam.
Cam Newton dominated with 4 touchdowns.
Listen, it's a new wave that's going around, man. Everybody wants to see you dab.
Hey! Don't do that no more. That was trash. Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Initially, the Panthers were seen as
nerfed
pretty big
my man
favorites.
Cam.
After
It was
all,
them
they
demons.
not only had the MVP and a rock-solid offense,
I ain't gonna lie, I feel
but
like that
also
had to
their
happen,
defense
bro.
was brutal. Luke Kuechly was in his prime, and
Peyton
Josh
Manning had to
Norman
get
had
him one.
emerged as one of the best corners in the
Right,
game.
yeah, he had to
One of
leave
the
out on
crazier
the bang,
stories to
bro.
come out of
He
this
had to.
game was Thomas Davis, the Panthers linebacker, had broken his arm in the NFC Championship game and had undergone surgery. However, he insisted on playing in the Super Bowl, And he did just that. Not only did he start, but he also recorded 7 tackles. Well, that was about all the positives that the Panthers experienced in that game. In a defensive stalemate, the Broncos took a commanding 10-0 lead after a Von Miller strip sack. Then after a forgettable back and forth that mostly featured punts, the game had 4 minutes to go, and the Broncos held a 16-10 lead. That's when it happened again, another strip sack by Von Miller. This ultimately decided the fate of this game. The Broncos, led by Von Miller,
He did him like that. Oh, he dabbed on him, bro. Oh, he got to see. That's me. He got to see me.
The victory, which ended up being Peyton Manning's final game.
Shout out.
Proper send-off for the Sheriff.
Oh, that's what they called him? I didn't even know that was his name. I'm thinking.
Well, everyone, I just want to say thank you for an amazing 12-year career.
Right.
This was the part where I was going to ride off into the sunset.
Right.
But seeing how there's no sunset, I'm just going to ride off.
All right.
Some other notable
Who was that? Am I
retirements
lost?
following the 2015
I'm
season
lost, Chad.
included
Who's
the
that?
following: Jared Allen, Arian Foster, Charles
Arian
Woodson,
Foster,
surprisingly Marshawn Lynch, but he would make a comeback after 2016.
Came back.
And the most shocking of all, Calvin Johnson. Johnson was just 30 years old and was coming off a season where he had made his 6th straight Pro Bowl. This was eerily similar to how the other all-time Lions great, Barry Sanders, retired. Still in his prime, Calvin Johnson made it look like he was the big kid on the playground.
Crazy.
But at the end of the day, losing most of your games and dealing with nagging injuries takes a physical and mental toll. Now, last year I ended the video on Odell's one-handed catch, which is the greatest of all time.
This one, hell no, hey, bro, don't disrespect George Pickens. I don't give a damn. He not on my team no more. That one he did on the Browns was way better than that. He was like, bro, he's running forward. He jumps back and catches it like this. What is he saying? Bro, how are you running forward? You're running this way, but you somehow jump this way. You're running this way. He jumps this way and catches the ball this way. Bro, don't disrespect him, boy. That was cooler than all his catch. Look, what's his name? Odell catch is the greatest catch of all time because how popular it was and how it blew up and how it got him so much fame. But that's not the best catch, boy.
It's pretty damn good at saying.
I say the one Garrett Wilson did better than that.
You know what Matt Ryan's saying right here is my guy's just better than all of you because he looks like he's covered right now.
Yeah, you are covering Julio.
So I'm
Jones
running down the field. I'm like, man, I am in good shape. They throw that ball, and I'm like, I am in great shape. I can't see him, but I know he's behind me. I reach up, and all I hear is,
Just going to throw it deep for Jones. Double coverage.
Oh, my.
it looked competitive, and then when the ball got thrown, the competition kind of went out the window a little bit.
Teabag Luke Kuechly. W Julio. Julio ain't got a ring yet, right? No, he don't got one. Hey, W Vid. Hey, y'all, let me get out of the way, man. Yes, my, bruh. All right, going. Yes, bruh. I got stuff on my bed, gang. Damn, bruh. You gonna expose me like that, bruh? All right, bruh. Get the fuck. All right, bro. All right, gang. All right, bro. All right, bro. Yes, bruh. I got stuff on my bed, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. Jesus love y'all, bro. Get out my face.